Okay, here we have the Hobbyking box. I've ordered this model from HK Australia, even though it cost $7 more than the International Warehouse, because I thought there was a better chance of it arriving undamaged. But as you can see, the box taken quite a hit. So we're making a video as required by Hobbyking to show that if anything's broken inside, it was broken before I opened the box. Here we go. Okay, well, looking good already. It's double boxed. One of the reasons I buy from the Australia Warehouse is that they do generally pack things well. That's an outer box with airbags. That's a good standard. Finished with that. Okay, here we are, hobbyking.com. Okay, well, it's pretty good. It's all wrapped. It's able to move a little bit, but it's so light, and because it's wrapped, not a problem. So the first thing we get is the Hobbyking. We have a colour instruction manual, and the printing is big enough for old people to read. It's not 2mm high and in black and white. That's a very good quality manual. No complaints about that. Spacer. Okay. This is put together with masking tape, not sticky tape, which is good. Means it comes apart more clearly. Now, I did have the first model of this, which has rudder and elevator only, but I was more interested in flying it in minimal ridge lift than I was in discus launching it, because my health's not good and I actually can't throw it and chase it around for too long. What does that mean? That means that when you're flying in minimal ridge lift and you get a tip stall, quite often the rudder takes too long to lift the dropped wing up, and I had several crashes because of that. So to repair my old one, I would have had to buy a new pod, complete empennage and carbon fibre boom, which would have cost about $80 from China. So I decided just to spend a bit more and get the slightly bigger model with the ailerons instead. The Mini G and DLG version 1 no ailerons is a very good little aircraft, but they're all very lightly built. That's their nature, so you don't want them to be crashing onto the ridge and ridge lift. Hoping to do a tow with this with a tricopter to tow it up into the air and release it, and look for bubbles on calm days. It's quite pretty. I didn't know that the underside was blue. It's a pretty blue. It has the ailerons built in under these rather cute, transparent plastic covers, which is something I haven't seen before, but it's kind of nice. There they are, protected from sand, etc., and bumps to some extent, and it has the standard connectors. The push rods are on top, probably more practicality than safety for this one. There they are. They're installed, they're adjustable, they're ready to plug in. This model does not have the fake carbon fibre tape. The previous one had this tape which looks like carbon fibre but isn't across the centre. It doesn't really need it. It's a conventional balsa and shrink wrap construction. It's very strong, it's flexible, and most importantly it's come out of the box undamaged, and it has left and right hand throw pegs, pre-installed elevator horn, seems to have been installed with some care for the fact that it's intercepts the push rod at an angle, which shows forethought. Same type of fuselage. These real carbon fuses will shatter if the model takes a very hard nose down prang, and they can split in a way that you actually don't notice that it's broken. It'll sort of hold its shape, but it's lost all its strength. And it also has the screw-on type attachment for the Mark II pod, which is not glued on, it's screwed on, which is great because it makes replacing those things much easier. This little pod slips on and off usually pretty easily, and you know, it might feel a bit casual and loose, but actually it's quite secure. And there's your Emax rudder servo. You can get those on AliExpress for about $12 if you hunt around. Pretty much the same as the Mark 1s, except it has a bigger wingspan, ailerons of course. And I've got all my gear for my Mark 1, which will go straight into this, so I'm looking forward to flying in some very light ridge lift conditions, which I've already managed that with the Mark 1. I was even able to fly off the lift from a row of trees with the Mark 1, but there's less chance of this crashing with the more positive aileron control, and it's a little bit wider wingspan than the original model. Not much to do here. The wings will attach with the two nylon bolts, screws, easy. And the tail also, just take out the Phillips head screw here, place the tail over the little hook and put the screw back in, and you've got your tail plane in place, ready to connect to the push rod, which has its Z-bend. It's actually going to look quite nice in the air with this blue. Much more exciting, much more interesting to look at than the previous white model. And that is your DLG Mark II from HK.